Good afternoon, scholars of room 502. So glad you can join me for a little bit of language arts. It's going to be a real quick lesson. If you have your language arts book, please turn to page 11 for our Build, Reflect, Write. And we're just going to take a little review of this. It says, build knowledge, record your ideas about point of view and hear boy and waiting for stormy using the chart below. It says identify the point of view. What about for hear boy? Well, what point of view is that? Remember? Think about it. It used the word I a lot, so it would be first person. You know, I always thought there'd be a hyphen there, but I guess not. How about waiting for Stormy? Remember when Stormy, in that story, that the narrator, the author, is kind of omniscient, all-knowing. He knows the thoughts of Maureen and Paul. He doesn't necessarily know the thoughts of the teacher, Mrs. I can't remember her name, but he does let us into the mind of Maureen and Paul, so that we call that what? Third person. And what do you think the author's purpose was in choosing the point of view? Why do you think he chose first person point of view? Why did he choose to take it from Opal's point of view? What do you think? I think that he probably did that to show, or she, how Opal responds to the dog. And you can follow along with me if you have your text for closed reading. Mr. Lake just read an article about closed reading in the newspaper, and the author there, George Will, said how important it is for us to really read something and to thoroughly understand it. And I thought, wow, that's what we do every day in class, is we reread and we look for words we don't know the meaning of, and we go from there. So to show how Opal responds to the dog, and what about him waiting for Stormy? I think that that author used third person so we can know the thoughts. Maureen and Paul. Because remember, it was more exciting than when we had to infer what was going on. They were worried about their horse Misty. I think that was the horse's name. They were worried, and instead of just saying, Maureen had a difficult time at school because she was so worried about the foal, or the pony coming, that she couldn't concentrate and she answered her questions like a robot. No, I think by showing what they were thinking, it made the story more exciting to me, and I think to most readers too. And rather than just coming out and say it. And then it wasn't interesting how after the author showed how worried Maureen and Paul were, that he zipped right back to the stable, and we saw that Misty was just fine. She was very content. Okay, so we're going to work on these tomorrow. Kind of a short lesson, but really important to learn how to identify that first person and third person. I think this is a good way to do it. And also think about our essential question. What do we learn when we look at the world through the eyes of others? All right, thank you so much. Be sure to check social studies, and I will see you all tomorrow.